to Bad Ideas, the show where we look at misfires, mistakes, and miscalculations from all throughout history.
I'm Tony Southcott.
And I'm Albert Berg, and Tony is delivering our bad idea for this week. Tony, what do you have for us?
Today we're going to be talking about the Streisand Effect, which the actual effect isn't necessarily a bad idea. It's usually the censorship that leads to the bad ideas.
Okay. What is the Streisand Effect? Tell us about it.
The Streisand Effect is a strange bit of internet fervor that occurs when someone tries to hide, censor, or remove something from the internet, only to have that act bring more attention to it. For some reason, when people feel that information is being withheld from them, the natural reaction is to seek out and spread it. And we'll talk about a few of those different instances. So the origin of the Streisand Effect, the reason why it's called that, comes from two different things. The first one is that Barbara Streisand was very, very offended that Kenneth Alderman, a photographer, took a picture of her house as he was making a case to bring awareness to coastline erosion. And her house was just one of 12,000 houses that had pictures taken of them. And she was very, very offended by this. Whenever she found out about it, she sued Alderman and Pictopia for $50 million in damages. At this time, the image had only been downloaded a total of 6 times, 2 of which were by Streisand's own lawyers, and 1 of them was from her.
How did she even know that this had happened? Did this guy come to her and say, like, I took a picture of your house? Sue!
I actually couldn't find that out. I was trying to see if there was, if she just found out that somebody was taking pictures of the coastline and went through, thousands of images just trying to find hers. It was, 3,980 or something like that into the images, so it was pretty deep in there.
Okay.
And, basically, whenever she sued them, this was $50 million that they put up. And the lawsuit became very, very public because that's a lot of money going into something that people didn't really feel was all that justified. And a judge agreed and dismissed the case and forced Barbara Streisand to pay $150,000 in legal fees to Alderman. So basically that backfired entirely on her. But more than that, instead of getting people to not see her house, 420,000 hits would occur in the next month just out of curiosity to check it out.
Fun number?
Yeah. I didn't even think about it that way. The name for this actually came from the Tech Dirt CEO Mike Masnick, in reference to the scandal about urinals. This was kind of an early time in the mid-2000s when they hadn't actually labeled this the Streisand Effect yet. There was a beach community called Marco Beach Ocean Resort, and they found that one of their urinals was on a website called urinals.net.
Man, remember how awesome the early internet used to be?
Yeah, whenever it was just the wild, wild west and you'd find random things like hamster dance and you'd show your friends and you didn't really know why, but you just did.
And instead of just Twitter doesn't have anything I'm interested in, Reddit doesn't have anything I'm interested in, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about this, it's urinals.net. That would have been something that I might have visited once out of just what the hell is this? And apparently that's basically what the site was. It was just random urinals from all over the country. I'm sure there's a Tumblr about it now, and there's a bunch of creepy people who get off to it. But
unfortunately, it appears not to exist anymore. Or were you going to say that? Everybody wanted to go Google or write in urinals.net into your web search browser? Not going to happen.
You might be able to find it on the Wayback Machine or something like that.
That's my next stop, Tony. I'm on this urinals.net case.
Well, anyway, the Marco Beach Ocean Resort demanded that the name be taken off the image. And they started throwing out a bunch of threats for lawsuits, all these other things. And of course, the public started hearing about this, and it was picked up by several news sources as they tried to do it. Urinals.net took off, and Mike Masnick had this to say on the topic. How long is it going to take before lawyers realize that the simple act of trying to repress something they don't like online is likely to make it so that something that most people would never ever see, like a photo of a urinal in some random beach resort, is now seen by many more people? Let's call it the Streisand Effect. So he was the one who coined the term, and I believe that was back in 2005. The internet is fickle about what it decides to blow up, though, and not every suppressed scandal is going to go viral. The 2 main factors that seem to matter most for something having the Streisand Effect is the perception that something is very, very unfair and it's being suppressed, or that it's very scandalous and entertaining. That's why whenever we see a teacher being bullied by a school board, as this guy's like voting in his own raise and she's standing up for it, but she gets arrested for talking out, like things like that really go viral whenever they don't want it to. Sometimes there's a lot of minor things out there that slip through the cracks, but if it's seen as very unfair, that's when you're going to see it blow up. Or if it's something that's just absolutely bizarre and weird. Or sometimes it's more like the Jennifer Lawrence pictures where it's just everybody wanted to see those.
I have an update, Tony.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it's not urinals.net. It's urinal.net. And they still going strong, baby.
Sweet. They getting that
I'm looking at
AdSense
some
money?
pictures of some urinals right now. I've checked out of this podcast.
So I'll go back and edit in urinal.net.
Well, I mean, I've edited in now with my comment.
But anyway, there are a lot of these that have been happening in recent years. I don't know if many people actually remember the oatmeal anymore. For like from 2005 to 2011, it seemed like it was the most prominent like webcomic out there. Now nobody I talked to has heard of it, which is really weird to me. But they had a huge kerfuffle with a site called Funny Junk, in which he harnessed the Streisand Effect to attack the content sharing site. Funny Junk was basically like an E-Bombs World or one of those other ones where they just took images, posted it, and people could share it around. Matt Inman, who is the creator of the oatmeal, decided that he didn't want them to be able to infringe on his copyright. He said, please take down my images, and posted an article saying, like, this is all the sites, or this is all the times that they have posted my image, I would like these taken down, and kind of publicly shamed them. To which they responded with a $20,000 lawsuit from a lawyer who's kind of a crackpot. They demanded the $20,000 for defamation, among many other things. They even went into the code of the website and said that it was a malicious attack because there's a pterodactyl in the code of the website in the HTML that he put in there just because he likes to have fun with that sort of thing. And they said that that was a direct attack on Funny Junk, which is absolutely absurd. But...
Wait,
like,
they're trying to, so like, they have a pterodactyl, so this is a threat to me?
Yeah.
I've been triggered by this pterodactyl?
Yeah, because I'm, like, we run a clean podcast, so it'll be a little bit bleeped out, but it says, I'm a pterodactyl here to tarot you a new...
Oh.
And it's an ASCII pterodactyl. And basically, they thought that that was a direct malicious attack on Funny Junk.
It did not, it wasn't, like, it was just in this dude's personal web code, though.
Yeah, like it had
wasn't
been there...
directed at them. It didn't say anything about Funny Junk.
No, it was in there the whole time that he's ever had the website because he thought it was funny.
Maybe, it's an assault on everybody. We should get on this action too, Tony.
we should sue for thousands and thousands of dollars.
My butthole has been impeached. I will not have it, pterodactyl.
But in response to this, Matt Inman decided that he was going to make Operation Bear Love Good, Cancer Bad, and drew a picture of Funny Junk's, the admin's mother, as a very large woman trying to seduce a bear. And decided to start an Indiegogo campaign in which he would give all the money to the National Wildlife Fund and half to the American Cancer Fund. It's the National Wildlife Federation and the American Cancer Society. And so he raised $220,000, cashed it all out, put it on the floor of his house, and put it in a backpack, took all sorts of pictures, and just kept sending it to the Funny Junk people, and then eventually donated it to both of the charities, just to taunt them a little bit. So he used the Streisand Effect for good.
Were any of these people involved in the Bodie McBoatface scandal?
I mean, I'm sure some of the people that donated had voted for Bodie McBoatface.
Okay. This sounds like a Bodie McBoatface thing.
Yeah, it's a little bit like that. For those that don't know, Bodie McBoatface is a ship that was named based off an online poll. A lot of times those get changed, like whenever 4chan tried to make it so that Mountain Dew's new flavor was one of 4 different Hitler names.
Never post an online poll if you're any size company at all.
Especially if other people are allowed to make the suggestions for the poll. Like, it's one thing to be like, what do you think of this movie? It sucked. It was great. It was blah, blah, blah. It's another to be like, give us the name for our new product and vote on it. It's just never going to end well. Anyway, with the oatmeal, it was proven that they had not done any sort of defamation, so the lawsuit was dropped. Another instance was the 2013 Super Bowl halftime show with Beyonce. She did a performance in which she was doing a lot of dancing, she was doing her thing, and whenever you take high-speed images of people, you see it a lot, especially in MMA and fights, when people are putting a lot of effort into something, they make some funny faces. BuzzFeed, this little tiny site BuzzFeed, decided to post Beyonce's fiercest moments. and some of them were quite unflattering. Beyonce's publicist actually called BuzzFeed and asked nicely for a few of the pictures to be pulled down. It was a very polite email from what I saw. It was basically like, we think that you guys have some better pictures of her. Could you please pull down image 11, 3, and like just a couple other ones? Probably not the right move, but this led to a new post from BuzzFeed posted, "The unflattering photos Beyonce's publicist does not want you to see," which ended up going much more viral and led to several memes, several of which actually exist today. Things where Beyonce's got like her super intense face while she's hulking out or doing Olympic weightlifting or various other things.
Another halftime related incidence of the Streisand Effect was Nipplegate.
Yeah.
Which helped to launch YouTube in a sense, because if you wanted to see the nipple, you needed to go online, and YouTube had the video. YouTube got a lot of new traffic over Nipplegate.
Yeah, Janet Jackson was like the big thing that led to YouTube, apparently, or at least one of the contributing factors.
I mean, they were building it up, but
yeah, but that was actually pre Google owned. I'm pretty sure that was like 2005 or something like that.
Google started in like 1999.
Yeah, but I'm saying pre Google buying YouTube.
Oh, that's correct. Yes, I believe so.
So that was a while ago. But it's interesting that is definitely a Streisand Effect thing. They immediately turned off the things, but there were pictures from the field. There were all sorts of other people who had captured that, and it went pretty viral. And now they just brought Justin Timberlake back to the Super Bowl. Sometimes they're not always covering something that's entertaining. Samsung felt the fury of the Streisand Effect when a YouTuber named Ghostly Rich uploaded a video showing that his S4 phone had caught fire for no reason. Samsung had demanded proof before honoring its warranty. Once Samsung learned of the YouTube video, it added additional conditions to its warranty, demanding Ghostly Rich delete the YouTube video, promise not to upload similar material, officially absolve the company of all liability, waive his right to bring a lawsuit, and never make the terms of the agreement public. Samsung also demanded that a witness co-sign the settlement proposal. When Ghostly Rich shared Samsung's settlement proposal online, his original video would draw 1.2 million views in 1 week.
So, what you're saying is this the marketing meeting where we try to say something about somebody that's negative and then like make another podcast about how that they didn't want us to say that?
No, I think this is the video where we try random electronics until they eventually set us on fire, then make a video about it.
I'm just gonna I think Shia LaBeouf is dumb and ugly. and if he wants me to stop saying that, he can have his lawyers contact me.
Oh, he's out like raising flags in the middle of nowhere. So, man, that's an episode for bad ideas later. The examples of this are beyond countless. It seems like we're getting a new Streisand Effect every couple weeks. Sometimes it's for police shootings. Sometimes it's for things as mundane as just new memes or just hilarious things that people have tried to kind of suppress. So the bad idea here is mostly just trying to get the internet to bow to your will and ignore something. Like, you really shouldn't try to do anything if you get shamed or if you get anything like that. You should just be like, okay, nobody's going to remember that in a week, and if they do, it's just going to be a funny thing. Just, like, sit back, watch the internet, have its fun, and then just stay quiet about it. Like, the only way to kill a meme is basically to embrace it. It's part of the reason why Rickrolling isn't as big of a thing anymore. Like, once Rick Astley actually Rickrolled the Thanksgiving Day parade, that was kind of over. It was kind of done with. Like, you really kind of just have to let things play themselves out, and if you try to hide it, it's only going to get worse for you.
The Fine Brothers are proof that internet outrage will run its course, and you'll probably be fine if you just let it roll over.
Yeah, like, that's, for anybody wondering about that, the React videos and them trying to, like, trademark React and all this other stuff, it was absolutely ridiculous. But, like, they aren't doing too bad now. They lost a few million subs, and then they slowly brought them back.
Yes, and I think they actually did a mistake by apologizing. I think 90% of the time you just move on.
Yeah.
You don't even acknowledge that anybody's mad about anything. Just say, I mean, that was a bad one, and keep making other videos.
I mean, think about all the companies we've talked about on here that made awful pharmaceuticals and stuff that are still around. They just kept on trucking.
Yep.
So anyway, that'll do it for Bad Ideas this week. I would like it if you guys would actually tweet us or put in the comments your favorite Streisand Effect moments. It would be great if you could do that. That's either on the YouTube at youtube.com/humanechoes or at humanechoes on Twitter. Once again, you can also find Al and I at tsouthcott, TSOUTHCOTTE, and Al at Albert_Berg, BERG.
That's like an iceberg.
Yeah. Also, check out our Patreon. $2 a month can get you postcards and all sorts of stuff while supporting this show. $5 a month gets you pins, all sorts of other cool stuff, and access to content early. Hope you guys have an excellent week, and we will be back with more bad ideas.